Hi, and welcome to Blockchain Technology Conference. I'm here with Michał Zieliński. Sorry.
Not bad, that's fine.
So you just had a session. What was it about?
So it was about the adoption of user experience and how it's gonna to impact the blockchain world. It was really fun. The audience was actually laughing. I loved it so far, and it was a great experience.
So blockchain is definitely on its journey to mainstream. One cannot deny that. And it's all good, but this is not really, we are so focused on creating the blockchain applications that we forget how important it is to actually, make them look good and everything.
True.
So how should they be presented actually?
So this is a major issue that we as a blockchain software house see, and we try to solve this problem. Very often the technical part is great, but the product is not really matching the standards of the user. So, for example, we have a short registration process on Instagram, but we don't have it in the blockchain world. So, I believe that this is going to be a really huge and major issue that most of our clients are actually facing, and it's going to be really, really big with adapting the culture of the blockchain for the very basic users that are beginners.
And can let's say, good presentation ensure adoption?
So I believe that presenting is one thing. So you have to design the platform in the right way. You have to make it visually attractive, but you have to make it very functional. And this is where the problem starts. So I believe that the problem mostly is with the functionality. So the user has to spend too much time and it's too complicated for him. So he's frustrated and he finishes his journey with the blockchain.
And what are the challenges of UX UI design in blockchain projects?
So there are many challenges because, for example, we would like to make the registration process as short as possible, but obviously you have to match the standards of KYC, so know your customer, AML, you have to confirm your user, you have to make sure that there's no money laundering or anything like that. So this is the main issue. I would say that the legislation and the law is not ready for the blockchain. It's adjusting, of course, and many governments are working on it, but still this is a major factor that we also help with. Like you can skip all of the elements because they are obligatory.
You mentioned we aren't all there yet, so how can we get there?
So as I mentioned during my presentation, for the advanced users, this is a great moment, like everyone is feeling comfortable, but for the beginners, they kind of feel frustrated because they can't enter this world because it's too difficult. It's not as easy as applications like, let's say, Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. This is something more difficult, and most of the decentralized applications are really not user-friendly. So I would say that the answer to this is that we have to make something that is going to be accessible to everyone, not only to advanced users.
And with that thought in mind, is UX UI as important as the, let's say, underlying technology? Or?
Exactly. I believe that the technology is something that obviously blockchain is a technology. This was the first step, but another step is making those products and those projects accessible to the end users. So not only to the experts. This is like with the email example. My colleague during one interview mentioned that we all use email, but we are not aware of what's going in the background behind the email, like that the server sends blah blah blah, and then this happens. We just send the email, and it's really easy. It's really easy for us to do it. It's like very simple, and I believe this could be again the same problem that we have with the blockchain. It should be fixed.
Yeah, this would probably have a big impact. But more often than not, I assume that UX UI is an afterthought. So we don't think about it from the very beginning.
Yes.
And this definitely has to change. So according to what you said in the session and according to our conversation so far, what can we do today to start making changes?
Of course, we have to discuss this. And as I mentioned before, those environments, conferences are great to discuss those issues. But at the same point, we have to bear in mind that either we're going to implement those changes now, or the adoption of the technology for the wider, let's say, spectrum is going to be really difficult. So what we have to do is, first of all, we have to speak more about the user experience and user interface, not only the technology, because, okay, for advanced users, the technology is the most important, but for the end user, let's say the really beginner level, it's about the product being tailor-made for him.
And last but not least, keeping in mind the UX UI discussion, what are the questions that a developer, for example, should ask himself or herself before jumping into blockchain?
This is a great question, and this is something that we always ask our clients. First question that you should start with is whether the user should be aware that there's a blockchain going on. Like, we are not aware, like, let's say, of SMTP protocol or anything like that. Most of the users are not aware of it, but still they are using the software because it's just really easy. For example, the fees are smaller. So of course, we just don't have to mention at every step that there's the blockchain in the software. We can just simply present it to the users so they learn it and then they see the value of it.
That is, if they need blockchain, right?
Exactly.
Because they might be just doing it because it's trendy or something.
But they will learn in time. So for now, we are kind of pushing them to use blockchain software or use crypto exchanges. But first, they have to see the value of it. So it's not blockchain, it's not the value, it's the value that stands behind blockchain. So for example, decentralization, lower fees, faster transaction, like this is the real value of the blockchain. It's not that the value of the blockchain is only that it's because it's a buzzword for now. So this is something that I wish would change in upcoming months.
Me too. Well, that's a good takeaway right there. Thank you and enjoy the rest of the conference.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me here.